Hello, folks. We are back once again. We are live, and you are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound. Whether you're coming to us from the confines of your smartphone, that in tonight's situation, once again, mine proves to be not quite so smart, or your tablet or PC, we are Beyond Sight and Sound, internet radio for you, metal detecting, treasure hunting radio for hunters, by hunters, from hunters. Last week, or actually I should say last Saturday, even though we weren't quite ready, the listeners were hit with the curveball that the Beyond Sight and Sound domain is, in fact, returning. And there were a few listeners that were able to make it over and check things out. Right now, everything is... the development that has been going on has been temporarily hidden for the situation at hand that we went live with Saturday. We will be starting to bring some of the prior development forward soon, but for all intents and purposes right now, the majority of the domain is geared for this situation at hand with Kenny, Krista, Lynette, and their family, and what we're doing in terms of the fundraiser, as well as other information on that. If you have not checked out the domain yet, go to beyondsightandsound.com. Real easy. Sounds just like that when you type it into the computer there in the address bar. And when you get over there, you will see that there is in fact a donation meter showing what has been accomplished so far. We had hoped to start getting up the other information today, but that should be coming within the next week. As far as items that we have that we will be doing a thank you drawing for, not a raffle. It's just a thank you drawing where every $10 increment gets you entered into this list of items that we've been compiling that does include a Dirt Bandit tested and approved AT Pro. Also with that will be a Garrett digging tool, a Garrett duffel bag, maybe I can even dig around and find some sort of a fines pouch to throw in there too. But we've got some silver coins, a relic or two, and you never know. There's a very good possibility there could be some shirts in there. A couple of the silver coins that will be in the drawing are some Mercury dimes, some Buffalo nickels, 2 Silver Eagles that I know of, if memory serves me correctly. So that's something you'll want to bear in mind. We will be getting information up soon as far as a date of when that drawing will be done, as well as photos of these items, maybe a brief description of them, stuff like that. Also, while you're there, you will see that there is a player embedded into the page, as well as a live chat there, where you can interact with the show from that location as well. And better yet, if you go to beyondsightandsound.com, you will also see a link up there for Hardcore Relic Recovery. If you're an Amazon shopper anyway, why not do it through Hardcore Relic Recovery? Drop into Hardcore Relic Recovery, Amazon widget on the right hand side of the screen, go to town. And down at the bottom there's also a link for Rob's ebook, Metal Detecting Hidden Places. And you can check out his page at mentaldetectingplaces.com. I believe I just got up not too long ago. Brain's a little sketchy right now yet. I'm still trying to shake the fuzz off. I know the link's in the promo, though, for those who have seen the promo. And that's another thing. If you go to the domain page, you will see an option to log in or register. If you register, it could be advantageous for future events, but it will also give you the chance to receive email updates on the show. So if you miss the promo on a Facebook group, because I don't always hit them all, sometimes I get in a rush, I forget where it was dropped, or it slips my mind, you know, that things are a little hectic for me some days. But that's a way to kind of keep track of that as well. And one handy thing about the domain is that now, if you would happen to go in and click the player on the domain, you will see that another window pops open that houses just the player and the live chat that you could have open to the side. You can still interact with chat, still listen to the show while you're surfing the internet wherever you'd like to go, clicking links on Beyond Sight and Sound, Hardcore Relic Recovery, Metal Detecting Places, all over the place. The world is at your fingertips. And that's the beauty of the internet, with information. Definitely. Saturday, to recap in a nutshell, I mean, all I can say is it was just awesome. The amount of support and assistance was very, very humbling. Proud to be a part of it. It was great to see people coming together for a common cause like that, and I think the show speaks for itself. I think the people that were there know how moving that show was and the impact that it did make, and it made one hell of an impact, believe me. But it was great. We're doing what we can. That has lifted quite a burden, and I believe now we're just waiting to see how soon the kids can get out of school so everybody can get there. We'll hear some more about that from Kenny himself here in a minute. Also, I wanted to take the time to, and just throw out there, kind of mention, I ran across a new group of people this week, last week, somewhere around there. My days get mixed up sometimes. But on Facebook, there is a group known as Al's All Metal Detecting. It's ran by Al. There's only just a couple hundred members in there right now. I believe a little over 200. But great group of people. Check them out. They have themes going on, you know, where we may do this Monday, this Tuesday, blah, blah. Like a number of other groups do. And then on Fridays, they usually do some contests. And they do deal with some nice prizes. I've seen and heard about some of the prizes that are handed out. Good stuff. And one of the things that they do is called the Story of the Week, where you can, you know, you write out this story. I believe it's detecting related. And it could be real or fictional. I can't recall now, which I'm sure if you go to the group, you can find that information. But it's a great group of guys there. Really. There's some that have been longtime veterans, some great admins on the group. No drama. Which for those of us who are involved in Facebook, I know it sounds hard to believe, right? But yeah, no drama. And really, just a good group. Check them out, though. It's Owls All Metal Detecting. Also, give a quick shout out if any of you are involved with YouTube, which I know a lot of us are. We've got a YouTube user out there that he's had his channel for a little while. And he's into the hobby of detecting. And very, very respectful and passionate about veterans. And I'm not just, don't get me wrong, I'm not just talking veterans of the hobby. I'm talking veterans in general as well. Very, very patriotic, and he goes under the YouTube channel name of Diggin Freedom. Good guy to talk to. He enjoys getting out there and seeing what he can find. And generally, much again, like with many of the rest of us in the hobby, good-hearted gentleman. His name's Frank. Check out his YouTube channel. See what's going on there. Drop him a line. Tell him, hey, we heard about you on Beyond Sight and Sound. Leave him a comment. I'm sure he'd get a kick out of that. And he loves seeing comments from people. The interaction and stuff like that. But, I've ran on for a little bit here. We should probably see what our ever adventurous and hardcore co-host has been up to. How's it been, Kenny?
I'm tired. We went on, we went on me and Brian went on a recon mission. Actually, we did some research, old homestead that the soldiers supposedly occupied, and the neat part about this place, if you love hiking, is there's actually not a road to it. So we had to go through a place I am familiar with and have hunted before to get there. It was a bit further than I thought. I think the pedometer I had there, or whatever it was, I think by the time we left, we got out there, we hunted, we made it back late this evening. I think we walked almost 7 3/4 miles.
Wow.
So it was a long trip. Made some finds, but when we got there and actually found the old home site, it was loaded with signals. I mean, I had to immediately get off of my deep program for the Deus, and I went to Deus Fast, which is just an amazing setting to go into. Also, don't be afraid, Deus users, to run into your GM Power 2. That's also a good one. You can adjust your tones within that setting. But there was so many signals in there, we just kind of looked at each other and like, okay, we'll mess around here for a little while, and this is for another day. We're going to have to get in there early in the morning and just plan on staying all day, probably pinching a bedroll, and maybe just stay all night as well and get up and hunt the next morning. It's full of stuff, so I'm excited about it.
So research prevails once again.
It did. And what's cool about things is, if you don't want to, if you're having some kind of connection issues or whatever, what I do on my phone is I pull everything up in front of me at home. I take photos of what I'm looking at and pretty much can walk right to it when I'm looking at the maps and stuff I've already preset or pre-taken the photos of. Wanted to touch real quick on the moving night that we had on Saturday night. Krista and I thanked all of you from the bottom of our hearts, and can't wait to get this drawing going. Just be patient with that. It's going to take just a little time. We will be heading to Missouri as soon as I can deal with the school district now, which is, it is what it is, but we're working on it. I've got one child. It's not an issue to get out. He's ahead of credits and stuff probably. However, I've got one that may cause him more damage than, I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. So I got to keep that in mind too. But as soon as I know for sure, we're going to video it. We're going to video the trip. We're going to video while we're up there. So everybody can actually, see the situation and know that what they've done, with the smile on my wife's face for one, and Lynette's will be gratifying. So I appreciate everybody that had an interest in this. It just touched us very much. I don't want to take up all the show on it, but I am ready to talk about springtime, the finds that's been found. Once you guys, some of you guys that's already been out, you want to call in and have some FaceTime and brag on something that you found that's really cool, now is your time to do it. Call in, interact. We all want to know. We got those out there that want to blast posting of finds. We got those out there that want to make sure you don't want a mistake. Don't post something if you don't know what it is, and that's okay, but if you do post a find, let's say on Facebook, for example, and it turns out to be something just a little different, it happens to everybody. I would be the first one to say, hey man, check your book. I'm just probably, hey, I love your videos, I love what you're doing, but that's how things are done. But I want to tell you, if somebody sends me a PM blasting me because I got a find wrong and they don't even know me, then they complain that they got blocked, too bad. You messed with the wrong dude. Hey, I'm like everybody else. I am out there for the finds. I'm not out there for myself. So, whatever. I had to get that off my chest because it just irritates me when you go out, you do what you do, the time invested, the money invested, you want to post your finds somewhere, and then somebody calls you out in a rude way and says, hey, what are you, a newbie? What, you don't know what you're doing? You do that to me, you're going to get blocked. So don't complain about it. You know what? Everybody that's listening right now, if I post a find and it turns out to not be what I said it was, number one, I will be the first to admit it. Number two, I would correct the situation. Why is that? Because I am about the finds. I want to be the first one to know if I don't have it right. But 99.9% of the time, I'm going to have it right because I get my facts before I post it.
Right.
So now that I'm done with that little deal.
Well, it's all about spreading the content and the information, and we want to make sure that we're spreading that in the right way.
Correct.
Absolutely. I know a lot of times with me, if I make a find and I post it as that, chances are very good that's because that's what it is. And if I'm not sure what it is, I will even mention, hey, I'm not real sure, or, I can't say for sure because I'm not an expert, but I have been told it's this. And you know what? It opens the door. If people want to contradict or say, well, it could be, but I believe it's this, okay, fine. Let me know.
The thing about it is you need to get your veterans involved. With all the new machines coming out, with all the new people coming in, a lot of the veterans, I think, get overlooked. Not necessarily on purpose, but they grab the machine, they watch the how to handle the machine, how to run the machine, and that's all good. That's all good. But what you are forgetting is the very soul of the fundamentals that it takes to get out there and hunt. Butch Holcomb, for example, right off the top, just boom, right off the top. And there's others out there. There's so many veterans out there. Robert Bourne is one.
Yep.
We got off to a shaky start, but it is what it is.
Chris
the guy
Engel,
knows
Don Finch,
what he is doing. He knows what he's doing.
Don Triani.
Yes.
You know, there are a number of them out there.
But don't be afraid to look these guys up or Google them or whatever. If you have any questions, the veterans that's been out there and paid their dues, that they won't mind telling you. I can tell you that right now. They won't mind sharing that information if it helps someone do it in the right way that benefits the hobby.
Right. Unfortunately, there could be, thousands of us out there. But you get some yahoo just grabs a detector and Nighthawks or trespasses, and it makes it bad for all of us.
Right, right.
Because that's the first thing the media is going to show. And most likely, they're going to try to find the guy carrying the biggest shovel they can, too.
Oh, sure. But you know what? And there's those out there that even blast the videos. Why do we spend time, making videos? Because in a sense, they're really not wrong on this part. That would be a pro and con. Actually, we could have probably had a show on this, but I'll just touch on it. On video making of your finds and your hunt does it take time from digging another hole or two to make that video? Well, common sense tells you yes, probably so. But it's your time to choose to do with. And
right, it's your personal preference and how you want to do it. And some people, they do a phenomenal job on their videos. I mean,
yeah, they do. I love watching.
Really
I love watching the videos.
Oh yeah,
I love watching because listen, there's a lot of the reason I started making videos was I had a buddy of mine years ago that we used to sift together and do stuff like that. Well, he had an accident and put him in a situation where the only way he was going to do it was to vicariously do it through others. And what better way? So I started doing those videos, and then one after another, and then I was getting into them because I like to reminisce. I like to look back so I don't forget something I did, or look back and make sure that I'm representing the hobby correctly. Should I have not done this? Should I have not said this? I'm always very critical at what I do because I want a story to go with the relic. I mean, it just brings out, if you're going to do a video, that's just how I do it. I like doing my research, therefore I have a little bit of a knowledge about where I'm at, what could possibly be there, and, that's how I do it.
Well, and I'll tell you, for me, a lot of times seeing these videos, maybe not necessarily my own, could be someone else's, it's inspirational and motivational in the sense where I see their videos and the things that they're finding, and it's like, oh, that's it, I gotta get out and dig something, or I see the way their video is put together, and it kind of prods me to try and do a little better job myself with my videos. Not that it's a competition, just hey, I really like the way that turned out. I think I want to try to incorporate something like that into mine.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I'm not into it to find somebody better than somebody else. I'm into it to recover the history before it is gone. If the guys and gals that are listening to this show, as well as I do, especially the small stuff, the small brass, the cuff buttons, for example, they're not going to be around very much longer. It's getting harder and harder to find a well intact cuff button. I mean, time has taken its toll on a lot of this history. And I think it's important to save it. The schools really don't teach it like they did when, at least I can ask my kids, if you learn anything about the Civil War at school, I get a big fat no. Now, I don't know if it's just this school, but that bothers me because that was a very terrible time in American history.
Right. Well, and unfortunately, a lot of the times, it seems like the history books, they only want to show us what they want us to hear.
That is so true. It is so true.
Yeah, seeing quite a few new names in the chat, and some previous listeners. Seeing Two-Tone Joe in there. Supradrew. Supradrew's in the house.
Yes, and we thank all of you for listening and being involved in the chat. Beyond Sight and Sound welcomes everyone and all ages. We want, if the lady like the other night, what was impressive when we were doing the Mo Demento, is that his name? The Pinto show.
The XP
when he was on
show, Mo Demento.
Yeah, she calls in to make sure that machine was or wasn't.
The XP Racer
son.
show, or the
that's
Macro
right.
Racer
It was.
Evan
It
Granger.
was. My bad. Wrong show. But the point being made is, this show you can come and do that too.
That's right.
I mean, you can come in, you can ask, we will give you an opinion. A caller can call in and answer that question.
That's right. And people know we've got no problems giving shout-outs and sharing the love and all of that, which I'm sure I didn't realize that Drew was in the house tonight, but I'm sure Diggin Freedom will probably be getting a heads up that he got a shout-out tonight.
Well, man, you know what? It's about the camaraderie of everyone involved in this hobby, and for those that want to get into it.
That's right.
I mean,
because no matter
for an
where
example,
we're all after the same thing.
The lady that called in, and when you really think about it, and Robert Bourne had called in right before. I don't know if he had called in before that or after, but he had made a point about, why all the numbers, why all this, and then to a point I agree with him, and that's a reason when a young lad or gal wants to get into this hobby, the Ace 250 is awesome because there is no digital there. It's tones. They need to learn tones. If they want to get into the numbers, they want to get into all the target ID stuff, that is great. That's fine. It's your choice to do so. The machines are available. But for starting out, my advice would be learn your tones. Tones is what makes the fines.
Start with the fundamental basics.
And I have to interrupt our current conversation because we have a familiar guest that just popped into the chat here. Yes, and that would be Mr. Homefinder himself. We welcome you back, obviously, Mr. Homefinder, and I hope
absolutely
that you're are finding homes for those who need them.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
And let me see here. I just scrolled and lost the chat. Now that's how on I am or not on tonight. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, this says when I get home tonight, I will kick in another $100. That bar is not going up fast enough for me. Homefinder, you are a gentleman and a scholar, and you are a godsend. And know that, and you are to be respected. And I know, and I can tell you right now, that's not why he does it. He does it because he can, and he does it for his own inner reasons. He's been in similar situations, and we thank you once again, Mr. Homefinder. That's an example of the people you meet.
Right.
I mean, just whether it's on the show
of people that the life paths cross.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy right now what's going on. I did a video today. Imagine that. Now, obviously, it's not uploaded yet, but just when you think you find something cool, all of a sudden you find something cooler. And I don't know if you guys, I will post a photo of this sometime tonight, probably on Facebook, but I found this button, and when it popped out, it was about the size of a 3-cent piece. So I'm looking, I'm rubbing it, where's the silver, you know, and I never saw any silver. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I get to cleaning it just a little bit, very cautiously, I might add, and it is a button. It's a 2-piece button, and it's got the old style train engine on it. So that's a new one for me. I have no clue what that button is. If there's any veterans or anyone out there that has dug a similar button, feel free to call in.
Oh yeah,
give us your take on it.
We've got some button hounds out there, and if not, for those who are interested in buttons, there's a Facebook group called Button Identification.
Yeah, and I'll be heading there shortly.
There's a lot of good researchers on there, a lot of very informed people that it's a good possibility they can identify it too. But there's
probably is. Now, the button itself has got like the outer ring on it, you know, after I got it cleaned off, and I didn't really want to mess with it too much. But in the center, with all that beautiful, when I say beautiful, guys, what other words can you use? Let me see if the chat pops up. What fantastic word could you put with the word patina? And it's just beautiful to me. I mean, patina is awesome. It's a sign of its time that it has spent waiting to be found.
Oh yeah, when you get that item out of the ground that's got that nice patina on it like that, you know you've hit old.
Absolutely, yes. Swansea says age appropriate. Ohio Relic Hunt's got amazing. Glistening patina I'm seeing. Man, it can go on and on and on and on. And you don't want to, you know what? I've seen guys out there, I got to clean this plate. I want to get the brass shining on it. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean?
Right. And sometimes it's more aesthetically appealing.
Right. And I've accumulated
on because it keeps it more in the context.
Right. I've accumulated some of those clean ones, but not from the ground. But the ones, I mean, you cannot. You have to leave that patina on it. It's just, to me, it's sacrilege to remove it. In my opinion only.
Well, there we go. That's to each their own. We've done the shows before, and I'm sure we'll do them again about to clean or not to clean. And if we're going to clean them, the proper way to do it. Right.
And you know what I found? I think I mentioned this before. You guys can try it if you can find it. I can actually probably help you out with that in a private message or whatever. But I use what's called hydrochloric number 1, which means if you pour it on your finger, it won't fall off. So that's good news.
Right.
Okay. You soak your button, okay? You can even use soap and water if you want, or whatever, warm water, hot water, whatever. Soak the button for a while. Let it sit there. It loosens the ground action. Take that button out of there and put it in that hydrochloric number 1 and just watch it. I found the top piece of a 2-piece officer staff button today. And it's so... You can't tell. It's got so much ground out. But I can tell you this. When I put that in there, it's going to bubble. And I'm telling you right now, the gold is going to appear. I know that because I've done it before. And that officer staff button is going to have gold, gilt, all over it. And I'm excited about cleaning that button.
And it's going to look nice.
It is. But enough about what I dug today. I want to know what everybody else is digging. Feel free to call in, guys. Call in. I know it's been horrible out there, especially where Swansea's at. And I think they just got more snow. Sooner or later, it's going to break for you, brother. It's going to break. You're going to get out there, and you're going to start swinging that AT Pro, and it's going to work for you, man.
That's right. And, Swansea even donated a Garrett Digger to the drawing we'll be doing, so hopefully that comes back to him in the form of karma, and he'll get out and make some nice finds this season.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We even got snow here the other day.
Well, I tell you what happened to me. I looked up, I didn't see any snow, and I know you guys are probably going to go, enough of that. But I actually have a tan from yesterday. And when I was carrying my backpack today, it was actually bothering me because I got a little too much sun on the left side there. And I was thinking to myself, man, spring's here. Here we are. I think it was like 78 degrees, and it was actually humid, and hadn't felt that in a while, and that added on to the trip. But there's places in the country that's not quite there yet. We're rooting for you so you can get out there. Let's get this nasty, nasty winter out of here and get out there and dig that history.
That's right. 419-549-5744. Give us a call. Let us know what you've been digging. I tried to sneak out for just a little bit Saturday before the show. And we've still got a lot of standing water around here. But I thought, hey, I'll go check out this spot. And at first, it looked okay. It really did. And then I got out there, and before I knew it, I had wound up running myself right into standing water, and it was maybe 20 minutes after that. I was such a muddy, mucky mess, slipping and sliding around. It was like I was wrestling a greased pig or something. It was not a good situation. And then I decided I needed to get myself up and out of there before I just turned into a giant glob of mud. And trying to run out of the area real quick for some higher ground, and dropped my digger and had to go back and try to find it, and it was just a mess.
Yeah, I've had a couple of hunts where I'm digging, and I get down to a level and the hose starts filling up with water, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to hunt here. That's just ridiculous.
Right.
And so you have to move on, but until things dry out, which it may not, being spring's coming,
Well, I tell you
just got to deal with it.
Talking about nicer weather and stuff, it looks like we've got a caller from Florida on the line.
Oh.
How's it going?
Hey, Josh, how are you, man? What's going on up there other than freezing your, one-off up there? Although I hear it's starting to clear up your way anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've been out a couple of times since Mother Nature decided to get the memo and finally get with the program. I've hit a couple of silver coins, an old antique gas lighting valve.
Excellent. Well, I actually packed up a 8-pack of Florida Sunshine, and I sent it up to you. I don't know if you got it yet, but
mail service. What can you say?
You can actually buy them in the stores here in Orlando. You can go in there, and they have actually cans that say canned sunshine. You can actually send them to people. And they were sued a little while back by somebody who said there was no sunshine in it, and they actually proved that they put them in the sunshine before they sealed them up, and they won the case. So we've been...
Wow, that is someone that has nothing better to do. Go buy a detector, please.
He made a lot of money on it. I think he bought himself a detector company. Anyway, you know me as SQEngineer and Jim Fielding and the other names.
SQEngineer on YouTube.
Yeah, and I haven't posted that many videos because I've been in chemotherapy, and I'm crawling my hands and knees for a couple days after that. And my wife does more detecting. She just watches me droop on the bench while she goes out there and digs up stuff, and she's been getting pretty good at it herself. Used to be she used to just go out with me, you know, just to placate me and just to make sure she noticed where I was going, you know. She goes, I'll go. So I got her detector. Now she's like, come on, get out here. You know, it's been 80 degrees or so, 80, 85 around here most of the time. We have, of course, you know, I mean, the weather's been really hot, and it's not too humid. It's actually really just perfect for detecting. We've had a little bit of rain here and there. Yeah, and the parks, and we have an Orlando, you know, here in Orlando, Orange County, Florida, they issue permits for metal detecting. And most of the people you hear from our Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, most everybody has a permit for Orange and Polk counties, which is next door to us, halfway to Tampa. So it's really nice when you go metal detecting in a park not to have any. We wear them around our necks, like, you know, like look at my certification.
Oh,
and,
yeah, like
an
identification tag.
Right.
No, that way no busybody can come up to you and say, what are you detecting here for?
Well, we have a lot of homeless people that come up to us and ask us that. You know, what are you looking for? And a lot of these parks down here, unfortunately, are filled with a lot of people that have fallen on hard times. They live in their cars. I see them sleeping under bushes in the morning. And some of the parks that we hunt in are fenced all around. They close around 7 o'clock at night. So those folks, I think, feel safer, you know, because you never know, you know, these poor people. But we do find a lot of wheat pennies and some silver, not a lot. Find a lot of rings and jewelry in some of these parks. At one time, a lot of them had beaches, that we had freshwater lakes. And a lot of the parks are built on freshwater lakes. And a while back, I don't remember how many years ago, they found there was a certain parasite living in the water in warm weather. And should you dive in and it got into your ear canal and got to your brain, that was it for you. I mean, it was fatal. Oh. So most of these beaches closed up and are now basically just overgrown grass. A lot of times people don't even know they were beaches. You know, they just walk around them. But quite a few really nice finds, old gold, you know, because it was a beach since 1911, you know. And so there's a lot of, and some of the parks you'll find foundations in the grass. You know, you go to dig something and you'll plang, you know, and you'll move some of the sod away, because we have weird grass here in Florida, not like you guys have up north, where you get that really nice, it's kind of like golf course grass you guys got. Down here we do have golf course grass, but we also have that St. Augustine crawling, creeping, scary grass. It's about 4 inches of grass you got to detect through before you can even get down to the ground level. You know, it's like a sponge. But the detecting's been pretty good down here. The guys up in north of us here in Sanford have been finding a lot of stuff. Of course, I can't name names because my life wouldn't be worth a V-nickel if I told you where they were.
Gotcha.
But they've been finding, you know, up in what we call Newtown. They've dug up a lot of and Old Town goes back to the 1830s when it was an Indian outpost for the Seminole Indian Wars. And a couple of friends of mine know the folks that run the construction crews, and they're tearing up the roads up there now. And they're tearing the roads up, and then when they tear the road up, they dump all the dirt off to the side. And this dirt has not been disturbed since pretty much the time of the Indians in the 1830s. So
wow.
There you go. Now you're in a spot to hit.
Right. You know, it's very rare when you're out detecting. You'll have some heavy machinery come over with dirt, you know, 300 years old and dump in front of you, you know.
Yeah, go, here you go.
Yep, nice, pretty much that's the way it is, Josh. And so I haven't been up there, but I've seen a lot of stuff on our club site. If you've looked at our club site, and I know you're on our Facebook site occasionally, you'll see some of the amazing finds. So
I got a question. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you talked about a permit for Florida, and for the listeners that may want to know this, is that an annual permit, and is that the whole state of Florida, or is the counties different? Is the beach different than the inland? How does that work exactly?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. The actual permit is for Orange County, Florida, which includes Disney and St. Mary, and the whole area of Orlando, mostly Orlando. Almost all of Orlando is Orange County, and that's for any county park in the county of Orlando. And it used to be, as you just asked, it used to be an annual permit. But when we found out about it, and so many people applied for it, they finally made it a lifetime permit. So it says it's good as long as you don't get thrown out of the park. As long as you don't use dynamite or anything, to dig holes with.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I was going to say a backhoe, which I believe tried to happen on the East Coast, south of Daytona, somewhere down there.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, a lot of times we in Florida here, they do so many road projects, and I don't know if any of them are necessary. We always wonder, like, who knows the mayor here, who's getting a contract. But whenever we see backhoes digging something, we're kind of like flies around a light bulb. We all we're down there with our metal detectors, and a lot of times on Sunday when they stop, we'll go down there anyway and check it out. And a lot of times we'll find a lot of old coinage and a lot of old relics. Find pots. We had one member that found a great big pewter pot, and she cleaned it all off, but it was basically, it'd been down there for so long, it almost welded itself together, it rusted together. And we're all like, you really ought to open it. Maybe there's, a whole bunch of gold coins in there. And she says, I'm afraid to, because if there's not, her whole relic just turns into so much rust, in a bucket. So, but we've been doing pretty well down here. I felt real bad for you guys up there, Josh. I know how cold it gets up there, and I used to travel there. I don't think I could take that. I think I'd be in the emergency room almost every couple of days, shaking, saying I got metal detectoritis. I can't dig. They'd have to give me a shot, and I'd go home for a couple of days, and I'd be back. So it's a good thing I live in Florida, because I couldn't take that kind of suspense, But as far as the beaches go, the beaches don't require a permit. Cocoa Beach tried to push through a permit, and then when they found out that most of the tourists come down here, dig a hole, and they would have to arrest half the tourists for digging holes in the sand, they decided to back off on that. New Smyrna Beach, which is a little north of us here, it's a little south of Daytona. New Smyrna Beach, up that way, the beach is hard enough to drive your vehicles on. I don't know, you've seen, and right now, of course, we're in the throes of spring break. We even had to move one of our club meets off-site to a local park because we couldn't get near the beach,
Right, it's party time down there right now. Come on.
It certainly is, and we're
also
waiting
for
for them
those
to leave.
What's sad now is New Smyrna. If for those fans of myself that watch Shark Week, New Smyrna has been in it. So I'm just saying, if
funny you should say that. I was out there metal detecting, and that sand in New Smyrna Beach is like concrete. You don't use a scoop. You use a regular steel digger to get through that thing. Although you can use a scoop after you've broken through it with a shovel. But, and toward the water. But I had a British lady come up to me when I was up there with my mine lab one day, and she's like, hello, what are you doing? What you looking for? And I said, well, we're looking for, coins and rings and things like that. And she's, well, I'm about to do some swimming off the down, toot. And I said, look, lady, this beach is absolutely the worst beach for shark attack anywhere in the world, including Australia. We've had more people killed and eaten. Most of them have been eaten. Some parts haven't. I wouldn't go near the water. If you paid me $100 right now, I wouldn't put my foot in that water. She's like, oh, don't be silly. Off she went. And I never saw her again, but I think that's probably because I came home. I didn't hang around there. But
let's hope so anyway.
Well, let's hope it's not because she got to be lunch.
But we're talking about right now, we're on a beach thing and spring break. Now, common sense would tell you to set your calendar when spring break is over, because there's probably going to be a line of individual ready to race to the beach. Because listen, let's just put a little libations with a lot of let's just say fun, and there's going to be some rings lost, some jewelry lost, some coins. Probably a good time to hit that beach.
Yeah, you know, and the way we say it here in Florida, we're going to have a load of drunks banging into each other and falling down on the beach. And we're going to go out and the problem with that, though, is there's also a new layer of beer cans on the beach. And usually New Smyrna is a very clean beach. Daytona, I wouldn't put any bets on Daytona. Daytona is about, when the tide is out, it's about a quarter of a mile wide by 7 miles.
Right.
So,
yeah, I've been to Daytona. We used to drive on that beach.
That's right. You can drive on Daytona. You can drive all the way from New Smyrna to Daytona. That's like about 20 miles. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good time. I mean, good times are here again when the college students all leave, and some of the members have been bringing in fines already from the beach that speak of spring breakism. Some of it isn't real gold. Some of it is a lot of costume jewelry is coming ashore, but I'm sure that the amateur surfers out there are going to be. We're going to have a big run on St. Christopher medals, you know, a couple feet deep there. We do find a lot of stuff the surfers lose. I had a surfer girl come up to me one day. I was digging up a pound of earrings. I had a whole pouch of earrings, one earring at a time. And a surfer girl came by and said, "You been finding some earrings?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, probably one of them is mine." And I took out a whole handful, and she went through about 2 dozen earrings. She goes, "No, none of them are mine." I said, "Why do you wear earrings?" She goes, I don't know. She goes, "I can't surf without earrings." So I'm like, good tip for me. But,
because I can't attract the sharks without my earrings.
Right, you know, it helps you keep your balance that much better on the surfboard, I'm sure.
Well, they lose one earring, and I think that throws off their center of gravity, and off they go.
Oh, this show, man, you just never know.
Right.
But the odd thing about hunting the beach in Florida is you'll see about 30 people on the beach underneath one of the piers, either Daytona, the what do you call it? Not the Sunshine Pier, I can't remember. Sunshine Pier, I think they call it. It might be the Shoreshine or something. The Daytona Beach Pier, the Cocoa Beach Pier, the one even further south, down near Vero Beach Pier. You see everybody under the pier with their metal detectors, you know. And all I ever found under the pier is fish hooks, and I got hurt with a few of them. I don't know why. I guess the wide open beach intimidates a lot of metal detectorists along the ocean front. We've got a lot of requests from people that call in the club and say, you know, I came out of the water and went up and I had a beer and I noticed my ring was gone. And I was talking to my wife one day and she said, "You know why people lose rings?" And I'm like, "Well, you're the jewelry girl. You tell me." And she said, "Because when I come out of the water, first thing I do," she goes, "most women, when they come out of the water, is they shake their hands dry." They go, you know how they shake their hands? You get the water off
wipe them off.
Yeah, or mostly they shake them because, you know, they come out of the water in their bikini, there's not much to wipe them off with, you know.
Well, so yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, you know, look, I live the dream here, Josh. I can tell you a lot about it. But, yeah, they come out of the water and shake their hands. Plus, you know, and I guess it's fairly common knowledge down here, when you jump in the water with your jewelry, your body shrinks slightly in the water. Your hands shrink a little bit. So if you have a loose-fitting ring, you know, and your hand shrinks a little bit or your fingers shrink, then your ring's gone, you know.
That's right.
And we find a lot of them we find along, at low tide, we find along the trough that is created between, you know, the low tide, the breaking waves, and the damp, and because that's where people usually shake their hands or play with their kids. So I've told we actually had a little seminar talking about beach hunting, one meeting, and I don't remember it because I had chemo the day before. I'm not sure what I said, and I make handouts and hand out about the shore, the different types of the foreshore and the inshore and all the aspects of a beach. But one thing they did to Cocoa Beach recently that really stymied us is they did beach replenishment.
Oh,
yeah, tell me about it. You know, if we could have gotten a torpedo out for that barge, there would be. But yeah, they do. They pour about 4 or 5 feet of sand off the bottom, 5 miles out, and they spray it all over the beach. And in certain cases, down around Sebastian Inlet, where the 1715 fleet crashed ashore, we used to find a lot of 8 Real, and back in the 80s, we found a lot of treasure coins down there.
So it could work in your favor depending on where you're at.
Right.
That's true. That's very true. Depends on where you are. They brought in truckloads of sand. They didn't dredge it. They brought sand from a landfill and poured all over the beach, which I could never figure out how that works. But within 3 months, it was gone, and we were back down to where we had been 3 months earlier. I don't get it. But anyway, I just want to let you know, Josh, how the hunting is down here. It's pretty good. And
hey, well, man, you're a trooper. Everybody's praying for you. You are a hunting machine, and I'm sure you'll be back at it in no time.
Oh yeah. I'll be out there. I just also wanted to say that you guys go through that winter where it's too cold to get out and dig. We have just the opposite problem as summer's coming up. As summer comes up, the temperature hovers around 102, 103 degrees, and the humidity is up around 90, and we can't hunt. We literally can't hunt for more than a few minutes before you get. We've had a couple of members pass out and hit the ground. We had to take them to the ER. So
yeah, I live in Mississippi, and I have a place in Tennessee, and I own 3 or 4 different hydration packs. I hunt year-round, no matter what. And I've had some close calls with the heat, but a lot of people don't know this. But when I was doing the survival stuff, you as long as you keep your carotid arteries cold, your brain will stay cold, and that's the big secret to it. So wear something cold around that neck, and you'll last a lot longer. Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. Soak a towel or something, put around your neck. That's not a bad idea.
Lowe's actually has a new one now. It's a blue thing. You snap it, it gets colder, and it actually lasts for a long time. You can get a couple of those, and that'll work for you.
Oh, no kidding. I'll have to check that out and tell the club members, and we'll give you credit for it. We'll buy you a round-trip ticket.
Hey, man. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Well, thanks again, you guys. It's a great show, as always. I'll be talking to you.
Well, thanks for the call, Jim, and keep hanging in there and stepping the right way.
Will do. Hang in there. Bye-bye.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
And I'll tell
veterans.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll tell you, speaking of veterans, that's another one. Jim Fielding, also a previous guest on the show, SQEngineer on YouTube. He's active in the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, and he's got somewhere around, I want to say, probably about 49 years in the hobby now. And the guy does
that's amazing.
Great job with his videos. I mean, his audio is always impeccable on those videos.
His attitude. Let me tell you something. This guy, his attitude, if I could only have just a portion of his attitude and his way of holding himself, is amazing. When you're going through a tough time and you're battling certain things that's running against you, and to come on and have an attitude like that and all, you would think that he had just found a treasure chest.
Oh yeah,
it's outstanding.
So upbeat.
It's just remarkable
and it's
impressive.
Yeah, he's just I got thrown a curveball, but what do? You deal with the cards you're dealt with, and hey, nobody's promised tomorrow. Right. And he definitely does some good work with his videos. We've had him on both to discuss his experiences over the 49 probably years in the hobby, as well as a while back we did a show with him on just the aspect of cache hunting.
I remember that. And do me a favor, if he's listening still, either one of you would send me a link to that. I don't know if I actually have him on YouTube or not, but I need to have him on there if I do not. One other thing I want to throw out there is I have, let's say, some following on my YouTube channel. obviously I want it to get bigger, because if it gets bigger, more people are, getting to learn about the history and seeing the history. In return, I need to watch more video. I find myself getting, you do these hunts, or dealing with other stuff. It's easy to sit down, well, I'll watch some videos later, or I'll do that. But they want their videos viewed just like you do. Take some time, sit down. If you love watching videos,
absolutely,
go through 4 or 5 of your guys or gals a night. And the best part, just don't watch them. Leave a comment. Let them know you were there. It means a lot to everybody.
Oh yeah.
They go out of their way to make the video, and they're not doing it for themselves. They don't care about none of that. They want you to see what they accomplished for that day, and that's awesome.
Oh yeah. The other day, I even saw a shout out about Beyond Sight and Sound on Cojo, his channel, where he had commented. I had commented on his video. He replied back. He's like, "Let me give you a shout out. People should check out Beyond Sight and Sound. It's a great show."
Right.
So,
and I had a shout out from a guy out of Arkansas. Gosh, I should have researched and had his name on here. By the next show, I'm going to tell you who it is. But he was giving shout outs to some of the people he, was really interested in. I was on there, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always cool when you can catch somebody's video like that, and they do that.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of familiar names on there as well. So people watch. I watch it because I love seeing the history, but I'm actually trying to learn things, man, because you can actually take some tips and learn some things from some of these other hobbyists.
Oh, absolutely. I'm all the time learning stuff or seeing different videos where it's like, that guy made some good points in his video. One that comes to mind in particular, there's a fella out there, great guy, up there in Massachusetts area, I believe it is, Mike DeLucia, that, they're snowed in up there. Or at least they were at this point in time. Maybe they're out from under it now. But he had just got out and made a video one day. He was doing a giveaway on his channel. And he told people, he says, basically, all I want you to do is to do a VR, a video response, and get outside and just do something. I don't care what it is. Just get outside and do something, Don't stay cooped up in the house. Get out there.
Yeah,
there were a lot of people that made some very interesting video responses from that.
That's pretty cool.
Ohio Wolverine on YouTube. He did one that I found quite comical, where he went out and shot the letter R because it was spreading into Ohio, and up there in Massachusetts they seem to have lost the R from their vocabulary.
Right.
It was good stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it sounds like down there in Florida, they're doing pretty good for the hunting. And we're starting to get back into it up here. I've even picked up a few new areas to go poke around in, so hopefully that pans out to something. Well, unfortunately, you never know until you get out there and try. So you got to get out there and dig.
Right, and you have to remember when you're doing your research, it's not what's on it now; it's what was on it before.
Exactly.
That's the little things to look for. May have a brand new house on it now, but what was on it 80 years ago, 100 years ago, longer?
Yeah.
What was there?
Don't look at it in the context of current time. What was there before that? I've pulled finds out of some area parks where people are like, "What? You couldn't have found that there. It's way too old." And it's like,
right.
Well,
the park's only been there 15 years.
Yeah. But what was it? What was there before it was a park?
An older park? Who knows?
Yeah, could have
That's
been.
the whole thing. And while you're throwing parks out there, for the listeners, I found yes, I have hunted parks. I'm not just stuck between two trees and a coyote somewhere, but the outskirts of the parks. That's where, the little lovers lane kind of thing, the little picnics, the privacy ones that like to hang out on the outskirts. And a lot of those places are a little more growed up than the main park. And you'd be surprised at what you'll find on the outskirts of those parks.
Yeah, it may mean you've got to beat the brush a little bit, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're well rewarded for your effort.
Absolutely. I know that we've got several ventures going on, and I believe that Ryan of Ring Wars, I believe he's got his new license and all that, so he's going to be getting in a little deeper water this year. So I'm looking forward to having him back on. Let's say, give him some time to get in there, and he may even have a couple of close calls, so to speak, if he's not used to diving more than that. That's going to take him a little getting used to it. But he'll have some good finds.
Take to it like a duck to water, so to speak. He's already kind of hit the ground running this year. He's found himself 2-3 rings, I believe, and the other day he got out and pulled 7 silver coins.
Right.
I think it was either 7 or 9. I believe 7. But for those who like to follow that stuff, they can always check out the Ring Wars 2015 group. He's got the silver coin division, ring division, precious metal items, and a key division this year.
I couldn't believe at the end of that contest they had how many hundred of rings they found. It was just the winner had something like, 400, 500 rings? I mean, that's a lot of rings, man. That just blows me away, man, that you're out there finding that many rings. And somebody else to give a shout out to is my buddies, and I'm glad to be in this group of the Miss Lou Relic crew. If you follow that group, you will definitely see L.A. Gold and Kevin Strahan. KS Hollywood is his name. Yeah. Of course, we've got L.A. Relic Hunters. They just been. I saw a spot where I think he found, I don't know, stacks. It was stacks of tokens. I couldn't believe how many tokens he found. When he got into a place, he knows where it's at, where they, I don't know. Anyway, had a bunch of those. But they get down there and they find a lot of stuff. And I'm sure they're scrambling right now because it's planting season, and a lot of those places they're going to have to start getting on the outskirts of those as well.
Right, you got to hit the fields while you can before they start planting.
That's right. So just different ones, that's got things going on. It's I hunt pretty regularly myself. Of course, the last video I had out was the Alabama video, which turned out to be an awesome hunt.
Oh, yeah, that was a doozy. Another plate recovered, if I recall.
It was. 2015 was very good to me. That was plate number 4 for 2015. And with everything that's been going on with Krista and my mother-in-law and stuff like that, I took a little, just wasn't in the mood. I just wasn't in the frame of mind to be going out and doing that. And but after Saturday's, some stress got lifted. Went out today. I did make a video. I'll have that out. I don't know, probably tomorrow sometime. But found some buttons. Let me see. I've got them right here. I've got just so you see. I've got that one button I talked about there. It's got the train on it, the engine. I found an officer staff button, which is always impressive. I found a infantry eagle eye button. Found a boot grommet. And right next to the boot grommet, believe it or not, I found a toe plate. I'm like, okay, maybe I can find the heel plate. That would be awesome. But, and moved over from there and then found a Eagle General Service button. So it was a brass kind of day. Oh, and I did find a J-hook as well and an infield.
Wow.
Yeah, found an infield. So it was a good day out, and I needed it.
Right. Hopefully, once the weather starts getting a little warmer here, either that or I need to find a pair of waders so I can get back into this chilly water. I've got the Grey Ghost underwater headphones for the CTX. We'll be trying them out in the field. See how those do, and hopefully some of my research leads me into a couple of places that could be rather interesting for finds.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll see what happens there.
And I know that Ohio Relic Hunter, Mr. Bill, has been getting out a little bit.
Yes,
and, finding some finds. I saw the ones he posted on Facebook. Those were great, man. And it just getting warmed up for the year, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it's just the beginning. Hopefully the beginning of a long season for us. Winter kind of held us off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it has been a nasty winter for a lot of folks. Even for down here, it got cold.
Yeah, you guys even had snow a couple times.
Yeah, we did.
And ice.
Yes, we did. And I'm still cutting trees from where a lot of the limbs broke off the pine trees here, which of course is going to help Tam out if she's listening, because they were full of big size pine cones that I know she probably does arts and crafts for those, and I'm putting together a box to send up there. Never in my life thought I'd be mailing a box of pine cones, but it's happening.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, and for Tam, she loves doing her crafts, and we'll get the materials from anywhere we can, if possible. Right. She does a nice job with it too. People can check her out on Tam's Treasures.
Just an update here. Josh, the thermometer just went up another $100 from their home finder, and once again, thank you, sir. Just outstanding.
I'll tell you what, I've always said good things about our friend Home Finder, and tried to send people his way when I can, when they're in a situation that they're looking for a home. He's the guy to talk to with Sell Your House Faster, and it's just, really an absolutely great guy, and a phenomenal amount of assistance with this.
Yes, absolutely. And as I said before, and I can't say it enough, Chris and I thank you very much. I'm working on a couple of guests that you don't even know about. Yes, Mr. Josh.
Oh, well, so, that's the thing with this show. You never know what's going to happen.
That's right. You never know. So I'm looking forward to the direction that the Beyond Sight and Sound show is going. And like I said before, we are for all listeners. We welcome all callers. We welcome ideas. We want to know what's up. That's what we want to know with you guys. What's going on? Where are you digging? What are you using? And I don't have any gripes about anything right now, except I want my new Garrett Carrot. I'm tired of waiting for the Garrett Carrot.
Right.
It's time to get them all made and send out the pinpointers.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, I just got a post here or a chat. Ohio Relic Hunter says, how about a live from the field show, Kenny? Well,
we
why
have
not?
Discussed that.
We have already discussed it. And matter of fact, I think that, well, I'll just go ahead and say it. while my wife is spending time with her mother, the research has been brought to me where there's a spot. Oh, man, I sweat just talking about it, where Dragoon buttons are popping out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, they were stationed, all in that area. A lot of people don't know this. The border wars of Kansas and Missouri was 1855, which over slavery, which to me would be the real start of the American Civil War.
Right.
Not documented enough, but a lot of regiment of the Dragoon, the pre-war soldiers was there because Bloody Bill went on a rampage. Somebody had to go after him. Just ask Evan Granger.
That's right.
Out in Kansas, he'll tell you. So yeah,
or even some of the good folks over there at Mocan Search and Recovery.
Right. Also, just to throw this out there, non-metal detecting, but it's still hunting, it's still recovering, is September, October, and November. I am in the mountains of Tennessee digging ginseng. I do not come out of the mountains very long. I'll come out every now and then to see my family and my wife. They come down or come up, I should say, and meet me at the camp, and then I'm back at it. And what I discussed with Josh was, for that time frame, we will be doing a live show in the mountains around a campfire. I will be doing a show from there as well.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
And speaking of upcoming shows, we also have a little something in the works, a possibility of maybe a show on research again, but possibly a real-time research show on a potential site.
Yes.
To see how maybe that's received by the listeners. And as soon as I get the information, because it's really sketchy, it's kind of hard communicating due to time zones and all the swimming involved and everything like that, but we could be having a guest on from overseas, we'll say, with a little bit of a Australian nature.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes. We're still trying to get all the details hammered out on that. But that's another reason why I say, if you haven't done it yet, check out the BeyondSightAndSound.com domain, get yourself registered, and we will eventually be putting up information about the shows there, as well as information about the drawing, stuff like that. Beyond Sight and Sound blog, which I recently put out a story just the other night about what we've been doing with this fundraiser bit that we've been trying to do for Kenny and his family. And speaking of fundraisers and stuff, another update for people, those that were involved with the Jolie fundraiser, there again, phenomenal amount of support.
Just unbelievable.
It came across my screen the other day that they have put together a Facebook group for people to follow the progress with this. It's called Team Jolie. And they did announce the other day that the scans cannot detect anything at this point as far as a tumor. Doesn't mean they're out of the woods yet, but that's great news for progress. There's still a long road ahead of them. More chemotherapy, more treatment methods. And at this point, things are going, very, very well. They're very pleased with the progress that they're seeing, and we do sincerely hope that the path continues that direction and ends as well as it can.
That's right. That's right. And you know what, Ron? I know he's in England right now. I think he'll, I
Yeah.
don't know if he was in England today. I think the 24th he was supposed to come back or somewhere around that time. But what a job he's done for his family, his sister. And, you know, she will reach the age and she'll look back because she truly knows there's something going on. But let me tell you, when she gets to that age where she looks back and really seen what happened with all of that and how everything took place, I would expect her to be slinging gold rings right out there with the uncle.
Right out there with Uncle Ron.
That's correct.
Yeah, definitely. And that's good. That's good. I mean, it's a great hobby for anybody to get involved in, whether you're young, old, retired, just looking for something to do, whether you're following videos and post vicariously because you can't get out and do it, but you enjoy the history or just seeing the finds. There's just so many different aspects to the hobby.
Speaking of, well, what's the word? Sometimes the situation, yeah, let's put it this way. I'm reading something here that says, now you are not short, max that meter out, from Mr. Homefinder. You know, I have no words. Things will come to you double fold, sir. That's how it works. Unbelievable.
Triple fold.
Triple fold.
I mean,
yeah,
man,
I guess
that. And
right.
And he knows the difference that this has made and the impact that he has made.
It's well, you know what, and that's why I want to do this video, and you know, I did a video for Chicago Run. Some of you saw it, some of you may not have, for Jolie, but I'm going to do this video right before we leave and while we're traveling, and that'll be comical, I can tell you that already. Because it always is. It always is. Because she's saying, no, you cannot stop and hunt here. We need to get you. And that's usually a vacation thing. Now the focus is just getting there. So she don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But the video, once we're there, I'm going to actually have Barbara in the video. And I hope she's at least in some kind of a condition to realize it. But if not, Lynette and Krista will be on the video. And we will be thanking everyone. And it is truly a blessing. There's good people out there.
Right.
There's great people out there in this hobby or not in this hobby.
And I have been fortunate enough to run across many of them, just as you have. And really, those connections that we make, we recover history every chance that we can when we get out there. But those people like that we run across, those really are the treasures.
Yes, and Miss Tam just put up there, it will be interesting to see if you have to wear a coat, Dirt Bandit. I am not wearing a coat.
He owns a jacket. That's good enough.
I own a jacket, yes, but I won't be wearing a coat. No, I just don't like them. I'm not going to do it. It's not to be hardcore. It just gets in my way. So
right.
No, and hopefully, you know, it won't be too bad up there. Usually, it's not. I go by that because when our crappie season hits, like right now, crappie's coming in here, and the fishing's getting pretty good. And usually, Kansas City area, in that area, they're only like a week and a half behind that. Or right. 2 weeks, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right. Well, I think we're probably pretty much at the end of our rope for the evening. For everybody who's tuned in, definitely appreciate everyone who dropped in. like I said, check out the BeyondSightAndSound.com domain. We're still working on it, but keep checking in there. We will be getting the information up there. Just bear with us. It takes a little bit of time with all this because I've got a lot of things on my plate.
Right.
And, check out Hardcore Relic Recovery. Check out Kenny Moore on YouTube. Ohio Metal Detecting on YouTube. Beyond Sight and Sound Facebook group.
Yes. I actually have videos on there that's been on there for a long time. But what's funny is you can tell when I started making them until now, and the evolution of me actually knowing how to use a camera. Awesome. That's great. But anyway, you know what? Get out there, hunt. Hopefully the weather turns in your favor. Preserve the history. Tell us about it. Post about it. If you're unsure about something, go talk to somebody that will probably know. Seek out some of the veterans of the hobby and see what they got to say about it.
Right.
Enjoy life, because I'm telling you right now, tomorrow is promised to no one. So do what you can for others today, and that's what we have to do, and that's what I'm doing. I treasure every moment when I'm out in the woods. That is my domain. I just can't get enough of it. But it's amazing. Wherever your spot is, go find it and be happy and enjoy life.
That's right. Enjoy the time in the hobby, and most of all, enjoy the time that you have with one another. That's it for us, folks. If you like the show, rate the channel. We're out of here. Tune in next week. We'll see you, folks.